"Mommy, there's a bad man outside." Little Sophie's voice was barely a whisper. Her eyes were wide with terror. She clutched her teddy bear, its fur worn thin from years of love. Her tiny finger pointed towards the window. The woods loomed beyond, dark and menacing. My heart stuttered. A chill shot down my spine. I forced a smile. "It's just a dream, sweetie." But doubt gnawed at me. Sophie had been having nightmares lately. Nightmares about a man in the woods, a man with eyes like burning coals. I pulled the curtains shut, blocking out the darkness. "Go back to sleep, honey." I kissed her forehead. Her skin was clammy. Fear clung to her like a shroud. I left her room, closing the door softly behind me. But I didn't go back to my own bed. Not yet. I had to check. The floorboards creaked under my bare feet. Each step was hesitant, filled with dread. I reached the living room window and peered outside. The woods were still there, silent, watching, waiting. My mind raced. Was it just Sophie's imagination, or was there something more? The local news had been filled with unsettling stories. A hiker vanishing on a trail. A car found abandoned near the old quarry. Each story sent a fresh wave of fear through the community. I remembered the conversation I had with Mrs. Henderson at the grocery store. Her face etched with worry as she described the strange noises she'd been hearing at night. Footsteps crunching on gravel. A low whistle carried on the wind. Her words echoed in my ears. "It's like something's out there, watching us." Sleep was impossible. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of the house sent my pulse racing. I lay awake, listening to the night. My husband, David, slept soundly beside me. He would scoff at my fears. He'd say it was just the wind, just my imagination. But I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. There was a man who lived at the edge of the woods, a recluse. He kept to himself, rarely speaking to anyone. I had only seen him a handful of times. His eyes were cold, calculating, unsettling. The other day I saw him watching Sophie play in the yard. A shiver ran down my spine. When he saw me looking, he quickly disappeared into the trees. I couldn't help but wonder, was it just coincidence, or was there something more sinister at play? Fear can paralyze, but it can also motivate. I wouldn't let it consume me. I would find out the truth. I grabbed a notebook and a pen. At the top of the page, I wrote, "The Watcher's Diary." I would document everything. Sophie's nightmares, the strange noises, the unsettling encounters. Every detail, no matter how small. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was all in my head. But if there was even the slightest chance that Sophie was in danger, I had to be prepared. I would be the protector, the watcher. I would not rest until I knew the truth about the man in the woods.